Now, my family, Byline Times has a new report about Dan Wooton, and I want to read you what they said about what's going on behind the scenes to the sad little man, Dan Wooton. But before I read you what they said, let me just start by saying this. My family, I would love it if GB News stops the hate campaign towards Meghan Markle. But sadly, clearly, they have no intention of stopping the hate campaign against Meghan Markle. But my family, make no mistake about one thing. We are going to keep piling the pressure until they stop this despicable, unethical, hateful hate campaign against Meghan Markle. And my family, we are going to celebrate and enjoy whenever we see hateful individuals like Dan Wooton fall. We are going to enjoy seeing their careers collapse. My family, let me go right ahead and read you what Byline Times has said about the sad little man, Dan Wooton. Here is the headline, and I quote, GB News axes Dan Wooton after Folkstorm and catfish scandal. Dan Evans and Tom Latcher, my family, reveal that Dan Wooton's departure from GB News looks set to be permanent. My family, let me just wait. Let me wait for the moment they announce that Dan Wooton is fired so that I can celebrate even more. But my family, although I am liking what I'm hearing, so my family, they are saying that Dan Wooton's departure from GB News looks set to be permanent. And they examine the true cost of the network sticking by her £600,000 a year employee who broke editorial codes with impunity and engaged in sordid activities, posing as the fictitious Martin Branning and also Maria Joseph. And my family, it is said that Dan Wooton, he needs a miracle to save his £600,000 a year job as GB News star presenter, as owner Sir Paul Marshall seeks to, my family, detoxify the brand as he bids for the Daily Telegraph. Byline Times can exclusively report. My family, let me just kindly say this. GB News continues to be toxic with their never-ending, hateful content that they keep spewing against Meghan, who is a woman of color. But my family, guess what? For a fact, actually, that hate campaign is going to stop. It is going to stop. And we are going to keep exposing them for what they do, not stop until they stop the attacks and hate campaign towards Harry and Meghan. My family, it is said that Dan Wooton, whose private and professional conduct has been the subject of a series of exposés by Byline Times, was informed on Friday that his services are unlikely to be required at the station again, alongside those of actor, and hateful individual, Lawrence Fox. My family, what I would give to be in the same room just hearing Dan Wooton being told your services are not going to be required here ever again. What I would give to be in that room, just to hear that myself. For my family, I'm happy. I'm happy with already I'm hearing my family. I'm very, very happy with what I'm hearing already. My family, also, here is what has been said. The pair, Dan Wooton and Lawrence Fox, are at the center of a misogyny backlash after Fox staged a sexist rant denigrating reporter Ava Evans on Tuesday Live on Dan Wooton Tonight, while the host laughed along, attracting some 7,300 viewer complaints to Ofcom. And GB News is also cutting ties with a third broadcaster, Calvin Robinson, who was a regular face on Dan Wooton's show, and is reviewing the employment of a number of other employees ahead of a further Byline Times investigation to be published tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more from Byline Times. And last night, a GB News editorial stance, source told Byline Times this, and I quote, that Dan Wooton has left the building and a lot of people are relieved. There's been anger and also disappointment about all the negative attention. Good journalists have been questioning their futures at the channel. And Dan's face was left off a big promotion last week. It will be a miracle if he's seen here again. That is what is basically being said, my family. And my family, I keep saying that those who go after Meghan Markle, that those who abuse Harry and Meghan, if they ever were made to endure a fraction of what they put Harry and Meghan through, my family, for a fact, they would never ever be able to handle a fraction of what they put Harry and Meghan through. Every single day, GB propaganda spreads negativity and hate against Meghan Markle, a woman of color. But then just hear this part. There has been anger and disappointment about all the negative attention. In my family, that's what they do to Harry and Meghan on a daily basis. And that's why I've always said, those who attack and abuse Meghan Markle, if they even go through a fraction of what Harry and Meghan have had to go through, my family, they never, ever, ever would be able to handle a fraction of what they do to Harry and Meghan, of the abuse, of the insults, the racism that they put Meghan through. Never. And that is a fact. And my family, the absence of 40-year-old Dan Wooton has rocked the network. He joined as a founding host 2 years and 3 months ago, and which Robinson on Friday credited him as being significant to the building of through his influence on recruitment, both behind the cameras as well as on screen talent, my family. Somehow, people who are hateful, bigoted, and clearly very much racist, somehow always land a job in UK tabloids or in UK so-called propaganda channels like GB Propaganda. My family, the problem I have with GB is the hate they spread. is the racism that they subject Meghan through. The problem I have is that they call themselves a news channel. In my family, they are not a news channel. That is the problem I have. They should change their names to GB Propaganda, not GB News. My family. That's not what they should be called. They should be called GB Propaganda. GB Lies. That is what they should call themselves. Now, my family, while Dan Wooton smiled through a public appearance on Friday night at Westminster's Central Hall, Byline Times can reveal that he is privately considering following the loss on Thursday of his £250,000 a year column for Mail Online, quitting the UK to return to his native New Zealand. My family. My family, as much as I would hope that this would happen, sadly, I know fully well UK tabloids will always need someone who spreads hate like Dan Wooton, because that is the business model in the UK. Hate for profit. For my family, I'm so happy to see that one of the people who bully and abuse Meghan Markle, my family, one of them has gone down. My family, I'm happy about that 100%. Also, here is what has been said. A source close to the situation, my family, told Byline Times that it has been made clear to Dan Wooton that he will not be broadcasting again on GB News anytime soon. Just as he will not be writing for Mail Online. Right now, he feels as if he might prefer just to go back to Wellington to be near his family. We can only hope. We can only hope, my family. People who abuse Meghan Markle, I want you to see the kinds of individuals who abuse Meghan Markle, who they are. So my family, when they say that Meghan ain't a good person, my family, look at them. Look at Dan Wooton. Look at what he has done himself. Someone like that, when they tell you this person is bad, I can assure you that person is the best person you'll ever see in the world. And the fact is, Harry and Meghan are the best people you can ever find or see in this planet. And that is a fact. They're kind, full of compassion, an amazing human being. And human beings, my family. And that is a fact. That is very much a fact, my family. And the people who abuse Meghan Markle, my family, when you look at what they've done, my family, they are not good people. They are not good people. My family, also, here is what is being said. That although the crunch for Dan Wooton at GB News may have seemed to come swiftly following the Ava Evans incident, in which he's marked as Lawrence Fox branded Evans, and I quote, little woman, and asked, and I quote, who'd want to SHAG that? Byline Times can reveal that GB News founding stakeholder Sir Paul Marshall has been losing patience with the journalist for at least 2 months. My family, I like that. I like that 100%. May all of those who have incited hate against Meghan Markle fall like Dan Wooton. And my family, I told you this about Daily Mail. I told you this about the Daily Mail. It's more like the most powerful tabloid in Britain, Daily Mail and the Sun tabloid. And I told you, Daily Mail firing Dan Wooton was a huge move. It's like when they make a move, other tabloids, they listen, my family. Daily Mail is a powerful tabloid in the UK, in Britain. No wonder King Charles even hired the deputy editor of Daily Mail to work for him because he wants good press. And my family, he hired someone from a tabloid that has caused so much pain to his son, Harry, and also to Meghan Markle. As you all know by now, Harry and Meghan, they blame Daily Mail for the loss of their unborn child. So my family, yet Charles hires someone, who works for Daily Mail to work for him. My family, basically, from what we can see about, what Charles did really, the royal family have secret agreements and deals with the UK tabloid press. And Charles values good press more than he values Harry. And that is a fact, my family. That is a fact. So, as you can see, when Daily Mail makes a move, it's like other media outlets also make a move. And that's why Daily Mail firing Dan Wooton was so significant. I had to talk about it because it was so deeply significant what they did. It was a huge move. When they fired Dan Wooton, even other tabloids began reporting about Dan Wooton, what he has done, all these accusations plaguing him. It tells you of the power of the Daily Mail. And my family, I can't stand that tabloid. But I must admit, my family, it's a very powerful tabloid in Britain. And my family, this Daily Mail really is caused Harry and Meghan so much pain and so much harm. And it continues its harassment of Harry and Meghan because it can't accept Harry's rejection of them. They just can't accept rejection. And my family, if they think that by bullying Meghan Markle, they can get Harry back, they've been doing that for 7 years and it hasn't happened. And it's never going to happen. Bullying Meghan won't get, Harry back in the UK, like what Daily Mail and other tabloids believe. And it's high time they get that into their heads, my family. And my family, here is what is also being said. The potential for harm to the brand became obvious when Byline Times unmasked Dan Wooton in July as the hidden controller of the online alias Martin Branning and Maria Joseph, two catfishing identities used to obtain compromising digital sexual material using fraudulent means from scores of men over at least a 10-year period, and in some cases blackmail them. Those are the individuals who tell you that Harry and Meghan are bad. My family, people need to open their eyes and see what is right in front of them. Harry and Meghan are victims. The victims of the racist and bigoted UK tabloid press that couldn't stand to see Harry marrying a woman of color. My family want to quote Dan Wooton's very own words in an article for Daily Mail. And I quote, "Members of the royal family should be whiter than white." That's what Dan Wooton said on his article for Daily Mail. But yet, you can go on TV and say, what racism? What racism did Meghan experience? Show me. My family, do they really not know? My family, I don't believe that one bit. I believe they fully know exactly what they're doing and what they've done and why they have done what they have done, my family. This constant attacks, abuse, bullying of Meghan Markle, they know what they're doing, my family. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, Meghan is being hunted as if she's a runaway slave. My family, Meghan is nobody's slave. It's high time that this carnival also call experts, UK media, stop the bullying, hounding, harassment of Harry and Meghan. It's high time they stop with my family. Now, my family, Byline Times handed a dossier of evidence outlining some of its findings about Dan Wooton's personal behavior to the police on 20th of June. My family, that is what, was said my family. And they are saying that they will be updating the dossier they gave to detectives shortly as their investigation into Dan Wooton continues. My family also, they say this, that when on 18th July, Dan Wooton used his GB News platform to launch personal attacks on this newspaper, Byline Times, its reporters, and a former partner, while admitting to past errors of judgment, deny criminal behavior, but not to being or being connected to Branning and Joseph. The network's ownership took notice. And not only did he place Dan Wooton in breach of his employer's own editorial charter, which outlaws ad hominem attacks on individuals, it highlighted a tabloid presenting style known to be disliked by Sir Paul, who, despite having no control over GB News output, holds the purse strings on an asset that lost around £28.3 million in the last accounting period, according to new analysis by Byline Times. And also, in addition, the catfishing scandal emerged as Sir Paul was hiring bankers from Moelis to advise on a £600 million takeover proposal for the Daily Telegraph and Sunday Telegraph, the acquisition of which would make him a kingmaker of the British Conservative Party, a position that for the first time in decades is up for grabs after the semi-retirement of Rupert Murdoch as the UK's preeminent media baron. My family, do you see how things work in the UK? Daily Telegraph, everybody knows, has been, basically is drowned in so much debt. But yet, still, you have someone wanting to buy the Daily Telegraph family, the Daily Telegraph. And why is that? Not because of how much, money they can make, but really because of the influence that they can get and even control the government. That is what they want, to choose who becomes, the prime minister in Britain. That's what they want. Power. Power brings money. And that is what they really, really want, my family. And therefore, the losses or the debt that Daily Telegraph has really even, won't sway this Sir Paul guy from wanting to buy the Daily Telegraph. That tells you really how things operate in Britain, my family, about the corruption that exists there. The media controls the UK and also the government, and that clearly is a fact. And that is not how it's supposed to work, my family. The media is supposed to hold the government to account and be loyal to the public. But yet, you have a media that's loyal to its owners, its media barons, the Maddocks. That's who the media is loyal to. My family, that's not how media outlets should behave. And it's so sad that this is what the UK have there, my family. And also, here is what also has been said, that a source really in the finance world told Byline Times that Paul has been watching the fallout around Dan Wooton from the outset, somewhat, asks. He's fully across the financial health of the company, but has even greater interest in its political credibility. And Paul has never ever been comfortable with Wooton's extreme tabloid style. And that there has been a conversation around improving the presenting personnel for a couple of months. In particular, Paul disliked Wooton's habit of staging personal attacks. He said that they are short-sighted and have huge capacity to backfire, as has been demonstrated perfectly with the Ava Evans incident. My family. My family, GB News says that they don't condone personal attacks, but yet we see that happening every single day to Meghan Markle. Meghan is a woman of color. Ava Evans is a white woman. And you have seen the backlash after the misogyny that Ava Evans was put through. But yet when Meghan is subjected to misogyny, you don't see the same level of backlash that Ava Evans, basically people were defending her. You don't see the same level of backlash really to Dan Wooton. When my family basically, he stood there laughing as, Ava Evans was subjected to misogyny by Lawrence Fox. You don't see that kind of backlash. You don't. And it's so, so sad, my family. It's so, so sad. And continues to show the world, indeed, that every attack towards Meghan Markle has everything to do with Meghan's race. My family also, here's what has been said, that there was a concern that Dan Wooton's antics were making GB News a parody of the free speech channel it was intended to be. It sat very poorly with the original vision to set a credible alternative tone for the right of center political conversation in the UK. And Dan's future there has been in question for a lot longer than many people, even he, might have believed. And my family, I'm so happy about this 100%. And may all those who abuse and go after Meghan Markle, may they fall like Dan Wooton is falling, my family. How his career is falling down and down the drain, really. That's what I'm trying to say. And my family, it's so sad what Meghan has been put through by the likes of Dan Wooton, the sad little man. It's so sad. My family, justice is being served. And I'm loving just seeing this happening. I love that justice is being served. And my family, I believe I have said enough now. You tell me your thoughts about what is being said, my family. I want you to please hear your opinion, my family. May God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, Pedana, and Doria, Raglan, and all of you members of the squad at home. He never wins, love wins, and stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever, my family, and may God bless you all, my family. Now you tell me your thoughts about what we have just discussed. Stay tuned to our next video, my family. Love you always and forever, and may all those who have gone after Harry and Meghan, may they answer for what they have done to cause pain and suffering to Harry and Meghan. May they answer for what they have done, my family. May justice be served. Stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hello, members of Duchess Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending us your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Duchess Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. That and so much more. Stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.